Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. Shout out to my producer, boy band John. What's up, John? Okay, shout out to our sponsors. First off, Defend Hawaii. If you go to their website, go to defendhawaii.com. Pick out whatever clothing or accessories you want. Use ATB Pod upon checkout. You'll receive 15% off your entire purchase order. Also, Detail Garage Hawaii. They have all you need to detail your car, waxes, polishes, vacuums. Go to detailgaragehawaii.com. Same thing, ATB Pod upon checkout, and you will receive 15% off your entire purchase order. And last but not least, we have hawaiicandycompany.com. They have all these fresh candy assortments with lihimui and gushers and all these crazy candy. I don't know. It's insane. My daughter loves them. Go to hawaiicandycompany.com, ATB Pod upon checkout, 10% off your entire purchase order. Okay. So today, my guest, she used to be, she's a former Miss Hawaii. I know her from working the district. Miss Julie Chu. What's up, Julie? How you been?
Hi, I've been good.
So how's everything been during this pandemic? I haven't seen you for a long time. You don't come district anymore, huh?
I know. I'm a grandma. I don't go out. I don't party. I barely even drink now. I'm like such a grandma now. I go to bed at 8:30, not staying up anymore till like 4:30 a.m. anymore, like the good old days. But yeah, it's been a really fun year. It's been a year of, struggle and change, but I'm excited to say that I'm just trying new things this year.
That's good. That's the best thing. I mean, like with the pandemic, everybody kind of had to swerve and do kind of different things. So you ran for Miss Hawaii, that was 2018, and you won, obviously. And we watched it on TV, and it was kind of cool because I knew you from district. And yeah, it was insane to see how crazy those pageants are. I always wanted to ask people who won that pageant, like, how is it in the backstage areas? And like, are you close with your contestants, or is it kind of like, okay, it's me or you? Like, is it kind of like a battle? Like, how is it backstage?
Well, thankfully in Hawaii, everyone's super duper nice. I have heard though, like in other states, it is kind of like a catty, the same girls going after it every year, and they're like head to head, like probably arch enemies or something. But thankfully in Hawaii, everyone's super nice. I will say it's super stressful. I don't eat. So always after the pageant, like you're really, whether you win or not, you're like starving. So every time I'm like, I want to go eat. Because I think the last meal I eat when I was competing usually was probably like 11 a.m. And then you don't get to eat till probably like 11 p.m. But because you're like in that adrenaline rush, like you're not hungry, you're not even thirsty. You're just like, I gotta focus and be in the zone. So it's kind of a fun, like competition type of environment.
So because you won Miss Hawaii, you got to compete for Miss America or
Miss USA, actually.
Miss USA. Okay. So was that like kind of more of a more intense competition, or everybody was kind of friendly also in that kind of atmosphere?
It was definitely different than competing at Miss Hawaii USA, just because there's so many different personalities, so many different backgrounds. I feel like in Hawaii, like we're such a diverse like group of women that you like kind of understand where everyone's coming from. Like when you go to the mainland, they have like different types of like customs, I guess. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. Like, it was just cool to meet different people. Of course, I clicked with like this one group. We're still really good friends to this day. Like, these are people I'm going to invite to my wedding, they're nice. Really awesome. There's some girls like I probably didn't get to know, and I probably will never see again in the rest of my life. Like, you always get to meet the nice ones, the mean ones, but it is always a really good experience.
Was it nervous? Like, because it was nationally televised and all that stuff?
Yeah, I guess you get a little bit of nerves, but also too, it's like really exciting. Like just to be able to compete. They say you're more likely to have a son play in the NFL than have a daughter go to Miss USA. So it's kind of like a huge accomplishment just to be on that stage. So it's pretty cool. I'm like, oh, that's kind of exciting.
That's insane. I forgot to ask. I totally forget. But what was your talent?
Okay, thankfully my pageant doesn't have talent. My talent is like being patient and teaching and dealing with all kinds of personalities. But My sister actually competed for Miss Hawaii America, and she's an opera singer. So I will say she probably sucked up all the talent in the family.
Oh, nice. That was another thing. So your sister competed, it was what, last year?
Yes.
And she won. So she kind of filled your shoes afterwards, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I wanted to know, has there been any other sister duo that won Miss Hawaii, or was it
Yeah.
just you guys? Or it has happened before?
It has happened only once before. We're the second set of sisters to win Miss Hawaii USA. The first set was actually the director herself, Alicia Michioka, and her younger sister, Justine. So that was a long time ago. So it hasn't really happened. It's not very common, but it's really exciting because it's like, oh, my mom is obviously super duper proud. She's like, wow, two daughters that go to Miss USA. Like, what can I do with myself?
That's insane. That's super cool. Like, so were you more nervous when you were competing or when you were watching your sister compete?
I want to say I was more nervous watching my sister, also because it was during the pandemic. So there was no live audience. So we're just watching on TV. Like, I'm in my pajamas, like not even dressed up or anything, but just because you're not there, I think you feel more nervous. So we were like, oh gosh, how do we feel? Like because when you go to a pageant, the audience reacts, everyone claps.
Yeah.
People go, ooh, if it's a hard question, but because you're not there, you don't feel those emotions. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's going on. And she said it felt awkward too, because there's nobody in the audience. So no one's clapping, no one's cheering. She's like, it's dead silence. So she didn't even think she won, honestly.
Oh, wow. I guess that kind of takes away a little bit, like when you get your crown and stuff. Because I was fortunate enough to go the year prior because my best friend's girlfriend, Steph, ran. And that was my first experience live at a pageant, and it was insane. Like it was just, I could feel the pressure and the happiness, and it was cool to be around. It was cool to see, and for someone who's not really in tune to what goes on, it was a show. It was like a full-on show, and it was I can't imagine understanding the pressure that you guys put on yourselves to do that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's definitely a lot of pressure though, just because it's like you work so hard for so many months just for this one night, like this one chance. So I know that obviously Steph did an amazing job. She placed second runner up, but being here in the audience, like supporting your friend is like obviously less stressful, but so much more fun.
You're right about the food though, because we raided the back. They had like tons of pizzas and like I don't know if we were supposed to, but
no, for sure. Everyone always thinks you don't eat. Everyone's like, oh, the girls don't eat. I'm like, no, the girls are hungry. I promise you, they're starving.
So the pageant world, have you competed in that sense, or is kind of done already for you?
Yeah, I'm done. So like I guess now from being Miss Hawaii USA, I'm just gonna be a Mrs. I'm gonna plan to get married sometime this year, hopefully, with just cross my fingers, hopefully things go well. So I'll be going from Miss to Mrs. And so I'll be done.
Nice. That's cool. Did you compete like growing up, like Miss Teen and all that stuff, or?
My first pageants were Miss Hawaii Teen USA. So I was Miss Hawaii Teen USA many, many years ago. And then I loved it so much of like what kind of opportunities and doors it opened that I was like, wow, I got to come back from Miss Hawaii USA. So really thankful to say that I won both Miss Hawaii Teen USA and Miss Hawaii USA.
Oh, that's cool. You have your crown up on your of your TV and stuff.
I should. It's actually in my closet, like collecting dust. I probably should like put it on a nice shelf.
Well, when you have a daughter, then you can bust it out and be like, look what mommy did.
Yeah.
Would you ever like kind of get your kids into that if they wanted to, or?
I think so. I really, because honestly, for me, I really enjoyed it. I was a super shy person. Like I was always like the most quietest kid in the classroom. Like and it's weird because when you meet me now, you're like, what? No way. There's absolutely no way. Because I love being in front of people and talking with people and meeting new people. But because of the pageants, it kind of got me really comfortable and like broke my shell. And so I got really comfortable with meeting a lot of people, and I actually loved it. And it's what actually led me to wanting to be a teacher and being in front of people and public speaking and not being scared at all. Because as a teacher, you're in front of people all the time, have to be on the spot, public speaking all the time. So it definitely led to my career choice at the time.
So after you finished your pageants, you became a teacher. For what school and what grade were you teaching at?
I was kind of all over the place. I went to Hickam Elementary. I was at Wilson for a little bit, part-time teaching at New Valley Middle School, but my longest time, I was at 5 years at Kahala Elementary and love that school so much.
Oh, okay. My supervisor's kids just started going there.
Oh, it's
What
a fabulous school.
what grade were you teaching?
I was teaching.
Wait, you're not a teacher anymore, huh? Correct?
No, actually,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I made this crazy change after the pandemic. I realized like life is too short. You know, there's so many things I want to try before I settle down and have kids. So I decided to close my teaching book for now. And I actually started a new career working in the jewelry business. So I am a jewelry consultant for Robert Palma Designs. And of course, knowing me, I'm like, love to be crazy busy. I also got my real estate license and just hung it with Compass Hawaii. So I'm excited to say that I can sell you some wonderful, beautiful engagement rings and also a house as well.
That's crazy. Okay, back it up a little bit. Let's get back to your teaching. So you taught what grade again?
I had second grade.
Oh, second grade. Oh, that's what, 7 years old, right?
Yeah, about 7, maybe 8 years old. It's like the best age, honestly.
I guess so. Yeah, they're not naughty enough to where they drive you insane, but they're still inquisitive enough where you can teach them good.
They're like super like curious. Like I worked with kindergarten, I worked with 5th grade before, and I've worked with middle school. Like kindergarten is obviously like, I give those teachers so many props. It's so like physically exhausting. Like I remember going home being like, oh my gosh, I need to go to bed. Like it's 3:00 and I'm done for the day. And then obviously I taught middle school. They're a little more sassy, no one wants to be in school when they're in middle school. So second grade is like the nice little happy spot in the middle, just because kids like love to be in school still. They're so curious about everything. I was like the walking Google. They're like asking me questions all the time.
And did they watch you compete? Did any of your students watch you compete or?
They did, yes. When I did win my class that won, like all the parents were going crazy. They were so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, my kid's teacher's Miss Hawaii. And every year after that, they're like, oh, I really want Miss Hawaii to be my teacher for my kid next year. So I remember being the popular teacher for sure.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So that whole time, all that was going on, you were working at district?
I worked at district, I think once I won Miss Hawaii, it's almost like having a full-time job. So it was kind of hard to keep up with all my different jobs. So it's like teaching, Miss Hawaii USA, and then working nighttime at district. So I kind of had to cut back on district, but love my family forever because they always supported me when I was running for Miss Hawaii over the years.
Oh yeah, that was definitely, you're the best bottle service girl. You always was smiling and personable.
Oh,
There's some that weren't, that's why, for real.
Some are probably not happy to be there. They're like, oh, it's late, I'm tired.
Yeah. So you got into teaching, like you knew was your career choice at the time, or was something you always wanted to do?
I learned that I wanted to be a teacher, I guess, as I was in college. Both my parents are doctors. So I was like, oh, I might as well be a doctor too. And I can't take blood. Like there's no way. I was like, I tried it. I'm like, nope, not for me. I'm like, And then I don't know. I remember taking like this music class and everyone in there was a teacher. They're like, oh yeah, this is one of our prereqs for the College of Education. I was like, oh, I didn't realize. And I loved the whole group of people. And I was like, okay, I realized that these are my people. I totally blend in with them. They have such a fun personality. They're so giving, so caring. And then I realized I was like, okay, I was meant to be a teacher.
Oh, you definitely would match as a teacher, though. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean,
you probably had all those little boys in your class crushing on you, though.
I guess, I mean, second grade, they're just like, oh, my teacher's so nice. They always tell their mom and dads and stuff. It's always like the funny dads that come in and they have a crush too for parent-teacher conference. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
You hope your kid messes up so they can visit the teacher. Yeah, my daughter's teachers aren't that hot. That's crazy. So you wrote a child's book. I kind of read something about that. So how did that happen? Like that's kind of a big project, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's something I've always wanted to do. I always like set goals for myself. And that was a goal. I was like, okay, I know I really want to do this. And it actually timed out really awesomely because right after I won Miss Hawaii USA, I just finished my book. It's a children's book. And I'm a mother of 3 miniature dachshunds. So I love like the little hot dogs. Those guys are my favorite. So they inspired me to write a children's book about self-love. So it's called Curly the Dachshund. And it's about a dachshund that was born with a really curly tail, which is like abnormal. It's kind of like a pig's tail. And he gets bullied in the book, but then he learns to love himself for who he is. And it was just very near and dear to me because I remember growing up not feeling like the cool kid, feeling a little different. And my brother too has Asperger's. So he was always, treated differently. So I realized instead of, fearing your kind of talents or flaws, like understand that they make you special and unique in your own way.
Oh, that's super cool. So how did that come about? Like you just kind of like, okay, I'm going to start this book. And you drew it too, the illustrations?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can just do it all. So, okay, how did that? I want to know the process for that in case I ever want to write a child's book.
Oh, I definitely think drawing the pictures took the longest. It's just like, obviously you want to have every detail, right? I think that this is why most children book authors hire like a professional illustrator because it's just so much easier. But yeah, I guess I always knew I love my dogs. They're sitting next to me as we're doing this call, but like I'm obsessed with dachshunds. Like everything in my house is dachshunds. And I was just like, you know what? There's not that many dachshund books out there. There's not like so many books like about self-love for kids because most people don't learn to love themselves at a young age. So I was like, this is definitely something that I want to do. And so I figured if it's not out there, I might as well create it myself. So I just came up with a cute little story. And actually some of my students helped me think about it. They're like, oh yeah, you should do this. And it should be based at a school. And so they gave me such great ideas that I ended up using some of them in my book too. So they loved it too. When I had my book, they're like, oh my goodness, there's my idea. And I was like, yeah, that was it. We had a school, we had a dog school and they loved it.
Oh, that's super cool. So how did you get it published? Like what's the process for that?
So I self-published it. So it took a while. I had to go through a self-publishing author company. And that process took like a little while because I guess they go by like how many words you have, how many pages, and they have to get approved. So once I did that whole process took a while. But once it was done and it was printed, I was like, oh my gosh, this took so long, but I'm so excited that it's here. And so when I was Miss Hawaii USA, I traveled all around the world, different countries, just reading my book to kids and promoting self-love.
That's super awesome. Was that like your platform when you were competing?
Yeah, it was pretty much that. I guess I'm a domestic violence survivor as well. So I love to teach other young women and young men about loving themselves because I feel like if you love yourself and appreciate your worth, you won't let another person, no matter who it is, whether it's a relationship or a family member, whoever it may be, put you down or make you feel belittled. So that was definitely like my biggest message.
Oh, wow. That's cool. And people can get your books now. Like they can order it.
Yeah. And it was so much easier when I was traveling because it's like, oh, here, it's right here in my bag. Now it's go to Etsy to go get it. That's like the easiest place. My next goal is to get it on Amazon and then be like even easier because everyone shops on Amazon.
Oh yeah. Once you get it on Amazon, that's like, okay, everybody on the earth can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a pretty big accomplishment to get a child's book out published. And what I guess you must feel good about that, right? Like that's something that not many people I don't know anybody that has done that. You must feel really good about that.
I definitely would never see myself growing up, oh yeah, I'm going to write a children's book, but I'm super glad I did. Like, it was really awesome. I've donated a bunch of my books to different teachers at different schools. So they read it to their kids every year when they have new students, which is really nice. Cause like, honestly, for me, it's not about making the money or anything like that. It's honestly just getting the message out and like having other children learn about self-love and then also loving dachshunds at the same time too.
So would you kind of make a follow-up book to it or do another one?
I've been asked that a lot and I've thought about it. I do have ideas in my head, but I don't know. At this time, my schedule's so crazy. I don't think I have time for it, but maybe one day, maybe a couple years from now.
All right. Well, I'll definitely look into that. I wish my daughter was younger so then she could kind of check it out.
Oh, I know. It's okay. It could be for all ages too.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not teaching anymore.
Mm-mm.
And you said you got in first things first, you got into the jewelry business. How did that come about? And like, what is that all about?
Well, I mean, like any girl, anything that sparkles catches their eye. I've always had a fascination for diamonds. Like, how are they made? And like, how do you like find them? And how do you know which diamond's better than other diamonds? So I remember I always used to be curious and look into it. And then my friend, Robert Palma, I've known him for many years because he's actually one of the sponsors for Miss Hawaii USA. He noticed that I had like a really big interest in it. And he was like, do you want to intern for me? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I started and I actually really, really liked it a lot. And now I'm happy to say that I am a jewelry consultant. So now I work with a lot of my friends or even other people that are interested in like just learning more about diamonds. We are a wholesaler company. So it's kind of like the Costco of diamond shopping. So you're not like spending crazy amount of money, you're not getting ripped off or anything like that. You're obviously getting the best deal. And we do custom design stuff. So I know a lot of people who are creative like myself probably have a vision of making their own jewelry instead of just picking one out. They probably want to draw their design up or create something fancy. So that's something I help out too.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Can you
Yeah.
guys do like those like rap artists, how they get the custom pendants? Oh, really?
We do everything and anything you can think of, we can do it or have done it.
Okay, so jewelry consultant, I would come in and say, okay, this is my idea, and then you would kind of steer me in the right direction.
hmm And we also have some people that come in and are like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I want to buy my mom a gift or I want to buy my girlfriend a ring. And what do I do? And I just kind of walk you through the step, which is really nice. I think maybe that's where my teaching side comes in. I'm super patient. I walk you in, I break things down for you. So I really like it. It's been really fun.
That's kind of a definite change of scenery from kids though, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely dealing with adults now, but at the same time, just like how kids have questions, adults have questions. Like most people don't really know a jeweler to go to. So it's kind of nice to be like that person that's like, hey, I got you. Like, I know you're an adult and you have no idea, but that's okay. Like, it's okay to not know because that's my job is to help you.
So you can, that's not the same as a gemologist, is it?
It's similar. So a gemologist, you have to go to school, just like if you were to graduate with a degree. So that's something I am pursuing. I am going to go to
Oh, okay.
school soon to get officially like a diploma, like a certificate. But gemologists can not only just grade diamonds, they can actually, cut diamonds themselves. They can
Oh.
do all kinds of different things, but they will be certified for it.
Oh, wow. So you want to learn how to cut the diamond and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would love to
Oh,
design
that's
my own
intense.
jewelry line.
So diamond cutting is different, right? Like, because I don't know if it's true, but if you mess up a little bit, you could like shatter the stone, or is that true? Or
Yeah, so with diamond cutting, you definitely have to be a professional. So every diamond in the rough that you get, the way you cut it is basically the shape that you're going to get. So if you cut it like a certain way, you'll get a square shape, or if you cut it a different way, you'll get a round shape. So it's kind of like you have to know what you're doing because obviously you don't want to cut off everything and then the diamond's like
yeah.
super duper tiny.
Oh, that's crazy. I wouldn't have never guessed that you would have gotten into that.
Me either. But again, I feel like I'm full of surprises. I like trying new things. I like exploring new things and I love learning new things.
That's true. So because you're in that industry, you probably get a lot of weddings and people trying to get engaged and stuff like that. Have you had any kind of like a bad experience with a customer with what you're doing now?
Thankfully, no. I think everyone comes in and they're obviously like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I want to get something. I had a lot of friends propose for Christmas and the holidays. So that was fun. I mean, the worst part for me is I have to keep that secret for, many, many months until the
Oh
person
yeah.
pops the question. But thankfully, everyone's been super nice. I don't think I've ever had a difficult customer because I think they're just really happy with the whole process and the end product. But I think if I did have a difficult customer, I would obviously like do whatever I could to make them feel better, don't know that they're in good hands.
So if I were to say like, hey, say I bought a diamond or a engagement ring and it said it didn't work out, would it be easy to sell back to you guys, or like how would that work? Just I'm not um too in tune with the business, but would it doesn't degrade, right? Diamonds don't degrade in value.
Yeah, so I mean, if you are looking for one, I'll help you out. But yeah, the one
Not
great
anytime soon.
I know.
Okay, sorry.
When you're ready. One of the great things about our company and our business is that if you ever buy a diamond from us, whatever you paid for it, like say like you bought a diamond like 10 years ago and you paid this much amount of money and you're like, hey, I want to, upgrade, or I want to trade it for a different shape, we'll give you the exact same value of what you paid for it, which most places won't do that.
Wow.
Most retail stores kind of like what you bought it for is what you get. And if it was really expensive, they may not buy it back for the exact same price. It most likely will be way less because retail stores charge a lot more because they have to pay off commissions to their employees and stuff. Oh, sorry, that was my
No
dog.
worries.
But yeah, so normally when you do bring it in, we credit you the value that you bought it for, which is really great. So it never loses value with us.
Okay, so that's a good reason to go to you guys. I know my friend, unfortunately that situation happened where he was engaged and then it didn't work out, and then he was trying to sell it back, and the person or the company who he bought it from, they like, it was like a car. Like once you drive it off the lot, then it went down in value. And I was like, wow, I thought like diamonds. So I guess for you got your company, then that's a good way to go. You'll get your money back. I'm not saying everybody should. Hopefully their engagement works out.
Yeah, it's good. It's because we're like a wholesaler place, so our costs are really low already to begin with. So we're not like, oh, you can't sell it back to us because this much. Unfortunately, with retail stores, that's kind of how it is. They lose money if you try to bring it back to them because they sold it to you for more than what it probably cost.
That makes sense. So are you in like a storefront?
So we're located at Century Center, right on Kalakaua. Okay. So we have like one of the best views in the city. We're all the way high up on the 37th floor. So it's really nice. So when you come and visit us, not only do you get to see the beautiful diamonds, you see the beautiful views of Waikiki.
Oh, wow. And you're there, what, a 9 to 5 kind of thing? Or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
okay.
Similar to like teaching, just a morning job.
Okay. So you're doing that. And then now you said you're doing real estate.
Yeah, so my fiance is a real estate agent. He's been doing real estate for a couple years now. And he was like, you know what, you would be really good. He's like, you're so patient. And you're like, when someone's trying to buy a home and they don't know what to do, he's like, I feel like you'd be really good at walking them through it and being patient and like holding their hand the whole way. He's like, just like a teacher. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. So I ended up getting my license during the pandemic, which was really exciting. And
okay,
so
wait. To get your license, you got to go to school for that, or?
Yeah. So during the pandemic, they only had online classes. So I was doing online classes. And this is like while I was teaching. So I was teaching through Zoom and then doing online classes at night. And then after you pass the online classes and the online tests, you go ahead and take the real exam where you have to pass the national exam and the state exam. So it's a couple steps.
So if you pass the state exam, like that doesn't transfer, like say you move to California or something, you'd have to take their tests also.
Yeah. So every state's different. So I passed the Hawaii one. So only my license works in Hawaii. If I move to like another state, then I have to retake the exam in their state.
Was it super hard, or you kind of knew you had it when?
It's pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. Anyone that's taken the real estate exam knows exactly what I'm talking about because they have all these different terms. It was like learning a new language. I was like, oh my goodness. But I'm glad I did it too, because now like when, I buy a home or buy a property, I'm like a little more familiar with the terms. I'm like, hey, that's what it means. That's what it is. So it definitely helps me out.
Oh, that's good. Feel like a lot of people that were in the night industry kind of started doing real estate recently.
Yeah. And I think it's because everyone's such a being in real estate, you definitely have to be a people person. Like you got to be like comfortable with meeting new people and talking to people. So I feel like definitely a district like that works out for them too, because they've met so many people. It's basically networking.
That's true. I never thought of it that way. Maybe I should get into that.
Yeah. Join the club.
I know everybody it's kind of like even some of the bartenders now are doing real estate. And so that's kind of a good lucrative business, right? It depends on your commission and how many houses you sell or whatnot. So how do you find time to do that while you're selling jewelry and stuff?
Well, I just started it. So it's kind of like So the one thing about real estate is that it's not like a 9 to 5. You don't have set hours, like you make your hours. So when I'm not working at the jewelry store, I'm working like at home, working on my real estate business, which is kind of like I have no days off, which is a little crazy, but at the same time, it's really exciting because I'm learning new things. So it's definitely, I will say, a lot of work, but I feel like that's always been me. I always work hard and never have days off.
That's true. Make your vacations more fun when you get to take
Mhm.
them. So you recently bought a house, right?
Yeah, with my fiance.
Oh, so what? Oh, I guess that's your first house.
Yeah, that's our first house together. So he's owned a couple properties, like rental properties, like little condos and stuff before, but this is our first house because we've been renting for so many years, and we were just kind of waiting for something to pop up. And honestly, I told him I think it was a sign because every time we try to find a house, we're like, oh, we like this one. We submit an offer. Our offer wasn't good enough, or someone else comes in and bids more. And so we kept thinking, gosh, it's not meant to be. But then I guess our timing is here. So we have this old house. It was built in 1917. So it's over
Oh,
100
wow.
years old, but it's so beautiful. It just needs a little bit of renovation. And so we're super excited it's kind of nice timing because I guess as we get married, I think the house will be done. So it's like we get married and then we move into a house together and
Oh,
hopefully
nice.
children after that.
Oh, yeah. So I guess that's the normal kind of process, right?
Mhm.
So when are you planning to get married?
Oh, so I'm hoping we were thinking May. I think May is kind of nice. It's like in the summertime. It's right before my birthday. My birthday's in June. So we're hoping May, but it's so hard to plan a wedding. Like I know so many of my friends that are brides, they were supposed to get married in 2020 and they got pushed to like
Oh, yeah.
2021 and then 2022. So I don't know what's going to happen with the state, but we're hoping for May. If it doesn't happen, I guess we'll just have to push it back like everyone else.
Well, I would assume you're gonna have a big wedding.
Yeah, my fiance is like a little mayor. He's like, I know everybody, and then I know a lot of people
Yeah.
too. So I'm just like, oh gosh, this is a little hard. We'll have to see though. I guess with COVID restrictions, we probably might have to do a lot smaller than what we hoped, but it's okay. People can come over the house.
Yeah, and I guess it's not really I guess it's the being married part versus the party. That's the important
Mhm.
part. So I guess that's kind of good. You have your real estate, you have your jewelry. So I guess if anybody is about to make that step, they could come see you and get married. I mean, get engaged and start looking for a house. I
Mhm.
guess that
Or they
works
can
well
get a house
together.
too and do engagement ring after.
Oh man, so I guess you are super busy.
I am, but it's kind of nice. I feel like when you do it while you're young, keep yourself busy and in the end it pays off too. Like I rather do this now before I have kids too. Cause once I have kids, I want to be like, a full-time mama. So
Oh yeah. So how does your parents feel about your career choices, being that they're both doctors?
yeah, they're like kind of like, oh, whatever makes you happy, honey. They're like, we know you'll do great in both. I think my daddy obviously is Asian, so he's always like, well, you could own your own business too. I'm like, well, let's just start slow, Dad. Let's just go slow.
Well, I guess that's true. At least they didn't get mad or kind of push their career path onto you.
No, yeah, they know. They're like, she's made up her mind. We can't tell her what to do.
What is your sister trying to do? What is she trying to get into?
So my sister's studying to be a dermatologist, so she may end up being a doctor, which is great. So my parents will be happy. But she also is very blessed and talented as an opera singer. So she is kind of like in the entertainment industry.
Oh,
So
wow.
one of her goals is to be on Broadway for New York. So she's had a lot of auditions, a lot of callbacks, but hasn't quite gotten it yet. So she's hoping to move back to New York after being done with Miss Hawaii and pursue that goal.
So did she compete for was it Miss America?
So
Miss
yes,
USA?
she did Miss Hawaii America and Miss Hawaii USA. I was like, oh, what a way to win both of them. So she's the first girl in Hawaii to ever win Miss Hawaii America and Miss Hawaii USA.
Oh, it's two different pageants.
Mhm. Yeah, two different organizations. So one goes to Miss America. So that's the one that has talent.
Mm.
It's more of like a scholarship pageant, and then Miss Hawaii USA doesn't have talent, but all the phases in the category are judged evenly. It's kind of like they always say like Miss America is the girl that lives next door, and the Miss USA is the girl you wish lived next door.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess your parents are kind of proud of both you guys then, huh?
Yeah, they're definitely super happy. They know like we're go-getters. We're very motivated, and whatever we set our hearts to, we always like go for it.
So in the future, what do you see yourself doing?
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like you're catching me at that one time where it's like I'm flipping my whole life around. So I guess I'm assuming hopefully still working with the jewelry business, selling diamonds to all my friends or any type of jewelry, watches, whatever it is. But also I'm hoping to be selling at least a couple houses in the near future. I'm excited. It'd be really awesome. I know selling a couple houses will definitely be a little more rewarding than like my teacher salary because I
Oh
know
yeah.
that wasn't too great. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that's cool. So when you do have free time, what do you like to do?
Oh my gosh, I love to just watch Netflix and eat and stay at home. I'll like totally be a couch potato.
Really? You don't go
Yeah.
beach and all that stuff?
I do. I go surfing and stuff. Unfortunately, my surfboard got stolen during the pandemic. Someone kind of wiggled it out of the surf rack. So I'm like, I haven't bought a new board yet. But since then, there goes my surfing. So the couch is my second home.
Wait, they stole your board from your house?
No, it was in Waikiki, and I guess someone kind of like really wiggled it out of the locks, and
Oh,
I was sad. Thankfully, my stand-up paddleboard is still there, but yeah, my surfboard since I've had since high school was gone. I was so heartbroken. I was like, oh man, the pandemic wasn't fun.
is that where like they had all those fires? Like, wasn't like,
Oh yes, they did have a lot of fun. Mine was not at that rack, another rack
oh,
in
okay.
Waikiki. But yeah, thank God it didn't burn down. I don't know if I'd feel better if it burned down or got stolen.
Well, it'd be at the beach one day and see someone walking around your board.
I know. I'm waiting for that day to happen because it is. I feel like I would know that that's my board. My
Oh yeah,
next board, I'm going to put my
guarantee.
name huge on it.
Oh, so you just cruise. What's your Netflix? Like here, right now, what are you watching on
Oh
Netflix?
gosh. I've been watching Selling Sunset. I know that just because I'm getting into real estate, I've heard it's like the
Oh,
new
okay.
show. So I'm like, okay, is that what the business is like? That's kind of interesting. But literally, I just watch any movie that pops up in the top 10 list. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. I give
Oh,
everything a
okay.
try.
So you're not like a binge watcher, like with series and stuff like that.
Not really. I think because I used to binge watch a lot, like when all the good shows used to be out. Now it's kind of like it's hard to find like a good show now. You're like, oh, you're kind of waiting for the new stuff to come out.
Yeah, I just got stuck watching Cobra Kai, and
Oh,
it's
never
so
watched.
cheesy. It's so cheesy and like 80 but I like it. Like I got hooked on watching it. Then I'm mad at myself for watching this cheesy stuff, but I like it, I guess. But yeah, it's like every single episode is like, okay, I gotta watch the next one. And then next thing you know, it's like 2 a.m. and it's like, okay,
Oh,
now I'm be
geez.
hurting at work tomorrow.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work well for me.
Yeah. I guess Netflix is good. I have Disney Plus because of my daughter, but that stuff can get addicting too. They have like all the Star Wars stuff and
Yes,
everything Disney. Like, do you have Disney Plus
I
also
do.
or
I honestly, I have every streaming service. I've got HBO Max. I got Stars because we have like a plan, so I just get it all. Got
yeah.
Hulu, Netflix, but yeah, Disney Plus. I'm a huge like Marvel Avengers type of person, so I'm
Oh,
like, oh,
really?
those, yeah.
I like HBO Max. HBO Max has a lot of different things and it has Friends, right? HBO
I
Max has
love,
Friends. Yeah.
yes, if you have Friends. I've watched Friends maybe like that's like my go-to, like when I want to wind down before I go to bed, I'll watch like one episode. It's like 20 something minutes. It's super short.
Yeah.
But I probably watched Friends maybe like 6 times and they have like 10 seasons.
Yeah. And you kind of know what's gonna happen. Like for me, it's like I've watched Friends for so long now. I feel like I could win a trivia contest on Friends because it's like I've seen it so many times.
It's a good show. You never get over it.
Yeah, my daughter started watching it. I don't know if it's age appropriate. She's 11. And sometimes like they'll say something and she'll look at me and I'll be like, okay, we got to turn this episode off or something like that. But other than that, it's kind of something she gets into. And like for every year we pick out a Christmas ornament. I take her to the store and we pick it out. And this year just so happened she picked out the couch from Friends as our Christmas
Oh,
ornament. Yeah. She
that's
was super
cute.
stoked. Yeah. She has the Lego. She has the Lego of Central Park, the coffee shop.
Mhm.
and it was for 18 and over, and she like built the whole coffee shop. And so I got her for her birthday the apartments. So they have the 2 apartments. She has yet to build them yet, but pretty soon.
That's like, I didn't even know Legos build friends like at all.
Yeah, that shit is super expensive too. It's like $130 for like,
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
Legos. And if you ever stepped on a Lego, they're not fun. So it's like you'll experience that once you have kids for sure.
I remember because my brothers had Legos growing up, and I remember my mom would step on. I think one time she actually broke her pinky toe and she was like, I hate
Oh,
these things.
yeah. When she was real young, she had a bunch of Legos and I stepped on it and I got so frustrated. I kicked her thing she was making. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, traumatizing a little bit, but oh yeah, stepping on Legos is not fun.
that's so funny. I'm
But
gonna have to check out that friend set now. I'm
yeah,
curious.
it's super cool. Like they have they have like Joey Dem's apartment, and then right next to it they have like Monica's, and it's kind of true to the set. And if
Oh,
you look
wow.
at it, and yeah, and then the coffee shop has like Gunther, and it has like the stand
Okay.
where Phoebe plays her guitar and stuff. It was pretty cool to see Legos got really detailed with it.
Oh, that's so cool. I feel like a lot of adults probably buy that too, just because they love Friends.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that that's my connection with my daughter is Friends. But yeah, there are some episodes that, oh no, like
Yeah,
too
I think
much.
probably not. They're not that bad. There's probably obviously worse shows out there, but that one I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like is it's okay. It's like on the line.
Yeah, yeah. My sister always like, you can't let her watch this. I was like, some of these can. Just relax. What else would you? You used to watch Seinfeld. I used to get into Seinfeld.
Yeah, I've only watched a little bit of Seinfeld. I know that's another show that someone else was like, if you love Friends, you will
Yeah,
totally love this show. That one and everyone says The Office is
The
obviously a
Office. I
really
was
good
gonna
show.
say, yeah.
I haven't watched it from beginning to end. I've only like tuned in and seen like different episodes on TV. So I feel like I got to start from beginning to end, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere. So I got to wait for it to come back out.
Yeah, I know this. I think, yeah, I don't know where Office is playing, but that's a good one. So okay, I had a question for you. We're going. I'm taking my daughter to Disneyland tomorrow, actually.
Mhm.
But I seen you there once, and I know you're a Disney person. So my daughter just can go on like bigger rides. What rides would you recommend for her as a girl?
Oh gosh, as a girl, well, I did mention earlier, like I think that new Star Wars ride is really good. Whether you're into Star Wars or not, I just heard it was like the best ride ever.
Yeah.
She's never been on like, gosh, I've always liked the teacups are really fun. They're like really cute and girly. They're colorful. I don't know if she's probably maybe have been on that one before. Um, if they, I don't know if they still have like Space Mountain, like those are fun. I'm trying to think what else. I haven't been to Disneyland so long. My favorite part was looking for the Disney princesses. That's for sure. I feel like no matter how old you get, I was like, I always love like finding the Disney princesses,
Oh
um,
yeah.
and getting a turkey leg too. Like those were my top things to do while I was
Can you
there.
eat a whole turkey leg? It tastes like ham for some reason.
Yeah, no, it definitely tastes like ham. I couldn't eat the whole one. It's like huge. It's ginormous, but it's like so
Yeah.
good. Like every bite you eat, you're like, oh my God, why is this thing so good? Like, what do they put in here?
I feel you need rice with it or something.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm walking around like a caveman, just like eating it.
Yeah. They have the California Adventure, they have like the Marvel area too, right? Like it's I
Yeah,
haven't been though.
me either. I haven't been in a while. It's definitely on my to-do list. I'm hoping like maybe I'll make a trip to LA sometime soon.
All right. Well, you're working planning, so I guess you'll deserve it soon once you have your vacation time.
Yeah, work first though.
Yeah. You need a break though, it seems like.
I know. Well, I just had Christmas. Christmas was like kind of a nice break. Got to like hang out, be with family. No, like no one's like really shopping for rings, and I don't think houses during that time. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like that's the time to travel and do something. So it was kind of nice to just like hang back and hang out with my family.
So for your holidays, you guys do like big parties and stuff like that?
We try to. It's hard now with COVID cases. We haven't been, it's like kind of like ruins the fun. Normally, I like to do like one for like 4th of July. Like during the pandemic, when we couldn't do anything, my family would come over and we would decorate our house and just do like different theme parties. Like we had a Vegas theme. We had
that's
like,
cool.
yeah, that one was really fun. I like that one. We had like a tea party theme. We had like a neon glow in the dark theme. We had like every theme you could think of, Halloween party, like St. Patrick's Day. Like we were just doing whatever for the holidays just to like entertain ourselves.
Oh, that's cool. So you're like into that kind of stuff, like Pinterest and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely like the organized one of the family. So they're always like, oh, we need to do a party. Julie, can you do it? Can you make the flyer? I'm like, yep, I got you.
Oh, you have a flyer and everything.
Yeah, I make an official flyer, even though it's like, 5 people. I'm like, it's a flyer, guys.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, well, all right. We've been going for about an hour. Maybe John can ask us the question of the week.
Sorry, I was on mute. Before the question of the week, you guys were talking about streaming and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Since you guys both have HBO Max, you guys got to watch Euphoria.
Euphoria?
Oh,
What is that about?
That's the show right now, bro.
What is it about?
Remember the movie Kids back in the day?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, just think about it that way.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just talking to somebody about that.
But Zendaya's in it and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you guys. Yeah.
Okay. What is it called? Euphoria.
Yeah,
HBO
it's like the
Max.
newest one. Season 2 just came out. I've never finished season 1, so that probably will be my go-to.
Super intense. It's an intense show.
I got stuck watching Warrior on HBO Max. That one was good.
Right.
It's about the Chinese guy that came from China to kind of work on the railroads and then ended up being in martial arts and kind of navigating through the Chinese gangs, and it was super cool. It's loosely based on writings from Bruce Lee, so I was all into that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
check
called
that
Warrior. Yeah, that was a good one. I'll check out Euphoria if you check out Warrior.
one out.
All right, cool. So, question of the week is, what is a preconceived notion people have about you before they meet or get to know you?
Oh, yes. I do get this question a lot too. I guess being a pageant person, everyone like always thinks, oh, your life is perfect, right? And I always tell them, no, life is not perfect. Like just like any other person, like everyone has like their own stories, their own comings of where they came from. So I know for me, life is not perfect, but I also know that life is what you make of it. So definitely for me, like once you get to know me, you know that I work really hard, you know that I love meeting new people, I love meeting new friends. My life is not all perfect or together, but I work hard for the things in my life.
Oh, that's kind of cool. To be honest, like my preconceived notion about pageant girls was not good. I thought they were all stuck up. I thought they would think I'm beneath them or think they're just super cool. And I met a bunch of you guys and everyone's been super nice. I mean, I met you at district and you were like one of the nicest ones out of all the girls working there and Steph. And it's like, oh, you guys, is that how pageant girls are? Or like, I would always think like, okay, these girls are super nice. They're super personable and kind of blew my idea of what I had pre-notioned about how pageant girls were, and I thought that was kind of cool, and I felt bad for thinking that way without knowing.
No, it's okay. I mean, they say people judge a book by its cover. So obviously
Yeah.
you feel like these girls, you're probably like, oh gosh, they must be stuck up. Like,
Yeah.
care about what's like on their face. But, I've met so many girls, that don't even wear makeup. Like I barely wear, I just put on just for today. I was like, I'm going to put a little makeup on. But normally like some girls are just like, oh, like this is me. Like, this is me totally. But I can see like where that stereotype comes from. But most of the girls I've met are really, really awesome. And they're like, just like girls that want to make a difference.
Yeah. So you do a lot of speaking out also, like you do a lot of talking. What is the organization you do that for?
Yeah, I work for the nonprofit. It's called Women Speaking Out. So it's a nonprofit in Hawaii that we created from another friend of mine. She was a former Miss Hawaii, Juliet Leiter. And
she was one of my students.
Really?
Yeah, she's one of my kickboxing students.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I love her. I was like, students.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, she could kick too. She was good.
Oh yeah, she's a little fighter. She's small, but she's mighty. But we work together in this organization where we educate young women and men about teen dating violence and self-love. because that's something you don't really learn growing up in school. Like when you think back, you learn PE, you learn science, social studies, but like you never learn how to love yourself, or you don't even learn what like an unhealthy relationship looks like. So I know that that's something that we kind of like help teach young kids. That way they kind of like stay out of trouble, and they know how to they know what they're worth. They know what's healthy. They know what is not healthy, and know hopefully that will stop dating violence in the future.
So where do you give these, what is it, a seminar, or you guys just kind of go to schools and stuff?
Yeah, we go to different schools. One of our biggest schools that we're working with right now is Farrington High School, huge school, but we have so many students that are super excited for that. So we actually just started these small clubs at different schools. They're called Speak Out Squads. So at the club, you can sign up and be a Speak Out Squad ambassador, where you help educate other their peers, other young students about what teen dating violence is. So we've been doing a lot of virtual seminars just because of COVID, but we're hoping to have an in-person one next month, hopefully, so we can help them out and learn a little bit more about loving themselves. And also we're doing one a prom one. So it's kind of they learn more of how to get ready for prom, just fun stuff, boost their self-esteem.
Oh, that's cool. And do you do males also, or just mostly girls?
Surprisingly, we started off with just females, and we've actually had a lot of male students sign up too. They're like, yeah, I want to learn how to treat a woman right. I'm like, yeah, you definitely should. So it's really awesome.
Oh, that's cool. You guys are making a difference. Is it do the girls kind of, I guess they could probably relate to kind of stuff that you're telling you, but do they come to you on the side and be like, hey, I have a bad situation, what do you think? Or so you guys do private stuff too, or?
Yeah, we do. Actually, when I didn't share my story for a super long time until I ran for Miss Hawaii. I think my last year I ran, I was like, you know what? I think I got to share this so people know who I am and where I'm coming from. And I remember when I personally shared my story, I had a lot of people on the side DM me or text me and be like, oh my goodness, I went through something very similar. So it's kind of crazy. So when we share our stories with these students, we do have a lot that come on, obviously they don't want to speak out in front of everybody, but they'll come on the side and they'll just be like, hey, I went through something like that, or, my parents go through something like this. And so it's kind of nice to just have that one-on-one time with them and connect with them, so they don't feel like they're alone or going through this alone. Because a lot of people that go through horrible situations like this, they think that they're the only one. And little do they know, it's they say it's 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men that experience some type of dating violence.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did got violent on, but
oh, no,
I experienced it. Girl punched me in the face once.
Oh no. Well, good thing it's not now.
Yeah. Juliet, that was her platform too, correct? Okay, so you guys can play off each other and kind of support each other and have hands-on knowledge to help these kids.
Yeah, so we're really good friends.
That's super awesome. I think that's cool that these high school people can learn from you guys, and that's cool that you guys are doing that. That takes a lot of guts, to be honest, and kind of brave.
We're excited. We're hoping that it will make a difference in young teens and high school students everywhere. So hopefully there'll be less dating violence. I know there was a lot of increase in domestic violence acts, especially during the pandemic when people were stuck at home. So it was kind of sad to see that, but hopefully that will change.
Oh, that's super cool. Okay, so where can people find you and kind of get involved? And also, again, where can they buy your book?
Oh, well, you can buy my book for now at Etsy. All the links are on my personal Instagram. It's at Julie CHU Hawaii. So you can go there. That's where you'll find everything about my life, whether it's jewelry consultant, buying houses with Compass, my book, or working out with Women Speak Out Hawaii. Everything I do is up there. That's my whole little portfolio. So you could totally find me on Instagram.
What is that? LinkedIn, right? Is that LinkedIn?
There's a link tree. It's a link that has multiple links in it.
Okay, that's awesome. So go to her Instagram, Julie CHU Hawaii, and then you can find all that stuff out. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on our show. I know you're super busy, so I know it's I didn't want to take away from your Netflix time. I know you're winding down for the day.
Oh, this was super fun. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you gotta come visit us at District now that we're open.
I know. I don't even remember the last time I went out to district, like, God, years ago, probably. So I probably have to come by and see everyone and say hi.
Yeah, I think everybody would want to see you. Check you out. Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate you coming on the show. As for us, you can find Boy Band John at BBJ8, the letter 8, the letter 08 on Instagram. Go check him out on Instagram. You can go to atvpod.com, Above the Bridge podcast on our YouTube channel, as well as Instagram. Well, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see where your career and future takes you, because you got a lot going on. I feel like you're going to swerve again and something else is going to happen. Or I don't know, maybe in 10 years you will be a doctor.
Hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
But thanks so much.
All right. Well, shakas for the cameras. All right. Well, thank you again, and we'll see you later. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. We're out.